Breaking news, just got some new severe weather warnings coming in. We have this one here, a severe thunderstorm warning now for parts of southern New Hampshire. This does include Nashua. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. And added to this, out towards Barrie, we just had a tornado warning issued. This came in just seconds ago, and we're going to continue to monitor this as this line lifts its way to the northward. So that's the area that I'm most concerned with at this point, but also around the Hollis, over towards Nashua. We're going to continue to monitor this one as it marches its way eastward. And as I mentioned, we've got this new tornado warning now in Barrie. So that's the area that's all of this line right through here, just to the north of Worcester. We're keeping a very close eye on this one as it goes through. And again, just getting this information into us right now as we speak. So a lot of details to kind of work out and figure out what's going on with it. But obviously we spotted some rotation within this, and that's why around the Barrie area now, we do have that severe thunderstorm, which is upgraded to a tornado warning, in fact, that we have taking place there. So these are some of the things that we'll be watching as we go through the rest of the afternoon, as it's become a very active afternoon here for us. So let me just kind of give you an idea of what's happening inside of that particular cell right there. I want to look at what's going on in Barrie because this is new information that's just coming in. It's based on radar and capable of producing a tornado located near Petersham, about a half mile south of Orange, moving to the northeast now at about 20 miles per hour. So this is something that just came in literally while we were getting ready to go on the air to tell you about that warning. So this is the area. Oh, there we can see. I can show you right now where it's at. Look at that little spot right there. See how you see the reds and the greens right next to each other? That's the area that we're looking at for some rotation. And that's why the National Weather Service just issued this tornado warning. Now, as I mentioned, it's moving to the northeast now at about 25 miles per hour. This is the area that we'll be watching right through here. What happens is that based on radar, we can see what the winds are like inside of a thunderstorm. So if you have a lot of winds going one direction and a lot of winds going the other direction, they tend to spin there. So we call this a couplet. So right through here is where we're most concerned with. This is south of Petersham, headed kind of just north of Barrie, and if it could hold together, it would get all the way over towards Hubbardston. As I mentioned, moving to the northeast now at about 25 miles per hour. Now, off to the west, we've had the torrential amounts of rain going on. And so what I'm going to watch now is to see how this unfolds. If it continues to hold this pattern, this would indicate to us that perhaps we do have actually a tornado that we need to be worried about. Right now, it's all based on radar. And because of the distance from the radar site, we're actually looking at this rotation probably about 5,000 feet in the air. So it's quite a ways up there, and we're not really looking at what's happening on the ground at this point. But if you get rotation that's going on up in the sky, this is then where it kind of sinks to the ground. So again, we get a scan coming through here about every 4 to 5 minutes. As we look at this area, we'll watch to see how it kind of either unfolds or tightens up, and that's the reason the National Weather Service issued that tornado warning out there. So this is the region that we'll be keeping the closest eye on right now. And just to give you some perspective of where you're looking at, is if I'm just going to widen out the view here just a touch bit, and you can see we're just north of Hardwick, kind of out there in into Worcester County at this point. It is tracking well north of Worcester at this point, so I'm not overly concerned about Worcester, but that's the area there. And I'm going to put it in motion here just over the last 30 minutes. And if you look at how it behaves in the last 30 minutes, yeah, and I'm going to slow it down so you get a chance to actually see what it's doing there, but it's going very slowly. So we'll watch to see how it kind of tightens up just a little bit. So right now I would continue that severe thunderstorm warning into a tornado warning. I would maintain that one that's going on right through there. And just to kind of give you some perspective, I'm going to switch on just a little different look here so you get a better idea of what's happening with these storms. And I'll be able to kind of show them to you right on place. So this is what we're looking at. So this is the region that I'm most concerned with, as I said, out there in Worcester County. And again, this is the tornado watch area that we're watching with. And we also had that severe thunderstorm warning, which is now out for really kind of up in the Nashua area as well. So let me just kind of give you a little tour around here. First off, let's just kind of get everything all set up so you get an idea of what the big picture looks like. All right. There's your severe thunderstorm warning. There is your tornado warning right through there. But now let's just kind of focus in on that and kind of really take a close look at what's happening right in that. Remember we were looking at the different colors there? I'm also looking at a tremendous amount of lightning with this thing. This tornado warning goes until 5 o'clock tonight, so another half hour. I think within the next half hour, this will a long way pass its way out of here. But now we're going to look inside this storm and look at the velocity. And this was what I was pointing out before. See how we're kind of looking at the different colors right through here. So as we look at what's happening, I'm just going to move this up so you can get a better picture of it. You can see what's happening through that region there. And I just want to kind of take that out, kind of look at this just a little bit here. Maybe we'll just widen it out just a touch so you can see what exactly is happening. But what I'm looking at here then is that rotation going on right around that cell. So these are some of the things that we'll be watching as we head through the afternoon. Again, big thunderstorms here. You can also see we've got a lot of lightning. Wow, tremendous amount of lightning up there toward Ashby, headed up towards Wyndham as well. This is what we call the reflectivity. So it gives us an idea of what's happening right there. But let me put it in motion so you can see what's happening. So if you put it into motion, we're just going to click this little button right through there. And of course, it doesn't want to behave. And that typically is what happens sometimes with our computers. So as far as down to the south, there is nothing going on at this point. But remember, we have the severe thunderstorm watch box, which is why we've been keeping a close eye on some really, really heavy downpours. And of course, then that tornado warning issued out there. Just to give you an idea what the difference is, watch means conditions are favorable for severe weather. That's the reason that watch box was issued and goes until 8 o'clock tonight. The warning, however, means severe weather is occurring or imminent. And right now it's based on what we're seeing on radar. So what we see on radar is really up into the sky, but it gives us an idea of what we're looking at in terms of severe weather. So there's a thing the National Weather Service has. It's called duck. What do you do if you see a tornado? Or you're imminent or worried about a tornado coming nearby, or you have a tornado warning, as we have right now. Well, the first thing you want to do is go down to the lowest level, and then get under something sturdy. Furniture is always a good spot. Cover your head and keep in shelter until that storm has passed. Just some tornado safety rules, we call that actually duck. There has also been a tremendous amount of lightning with these storms, so avoid any electrical or plumbing equipment in your house. Wait until about 30 minutes after that last rumble of thunder before you actually go outside and venture out to do things outside. And typically in a year, we get about 30 deaths in the United States just because of lightning. And we haven't had many tornadoes around the area lately. In fact, if you look at 2021, we actually had 6 tornadoes in southern New England. But last year, we only had 1. So this is kind of rare if we actually get a tornado. But remember, we had North Brookfield just a few days ago where we actually had that tornado touchdown, and you saw some of the damage from that as well. Large hail, well, we had 24 incidents that a couple years ago, but last year, only 6 of them. So last year was a fairly quiet year. And many times people are asking me, what do you do if you're in a car and you spot a tornado? Well, the first thing you want to do is get out of the car and go into a reinforced shelter. However, if you can't do that, get out of the car and get into a ditch or ravine. Remember, a car can move around very easily with the wind. As a last resort, if you're in a car and you have a tornado coming at you, buckle up and lower your head down below the window level, because the windows are the first thing that's going to actually shear off and move on out of there. So just some things to keep in mind. Go to the lowest level, again, where that tornado warning has been issued. Get out of the car or mobile home, and if you're outside, you get inside, just get away from the severe weather that you have taking place, move around, get out of there, and you're in good shape. All right, let's take a look back and find out what's going on with that tornado warning right now and see exactly where that thing is going. Because remember, we were watching the different colors there, kind of seeing what was happening, how it was behaving, what the colors are like. Still have that tornado warning going on as we speak. And we actually have, I'm going to go back over to Maria and John for just a few seconds as I reset the computers here. What have you got, guys, going over there?
All right, so you were just talking about all that lightning there, Mike, and great job, by the way, keeping us informed with everything that's happening right now, because we do have a tornado warning that's been issued for Worcester County, and that's going to last until 5 p.m. So there are a couple of things that you can do when there's lightning in the area.
Yeah, you got to be very careful when we're talking storms like this. And as Mike mentioned, there is a lot of lightning associated with these storms moving through parts of Worcester County right now. Most importantly, you want to take shelter in a building or a car. Here are some tornado safety tips. You want to go to the lowest level in the center of your home, ideally a basement. But if you don't have a basement, some sort of interior closet or under a stairwell. Maybe the stairs going to the second floor. You also want to get out of your car. If you are driving, stop that car. You want to get out of your car, get to the lowest spot, possibly a ditch, under a bridge, something like that, a very strong structure, so you can be safe in these very severe storms.
And the reason why we're reminding you of this is because there has been a tornado warning that's been issued for Worcester County, and that is going to last until 5 p.m. If we can show you the area that we're talking about right now, and it's pretty wide swath right now. And these storms will be heading towards Boston. Is that right, Mike Wonkum?
Yeah, they're actually tracking more toward the Merrimack Valley right now.
Okay.
But that whole line is going to kind of work its way eastward. So that's why we're in a severe thunderstorm watch. But you see the red area that you see on your screen there? It's out around Barrie. That's where we're seeing that tornado warning which has been issued. And of course, the severe thunderstorm warning north of there. So these are the two areas that are warned at this point. In fact, I've just noticed this one now has actually been dropped down into parts of Middlesex County. It was really kind of just across the border, but there's so much lightning going on with these things. And there is so much downpour activity taking place. That's why we're seeing the issue there. So the tornado warning is this red area that you see right here. This is what we call velocity. Velocity, we're actually looking at the winds inside the clouds, seeing what's going on inside there. And we can tell by wind direction what's taking place. If we had just a wall of green, we would say it's just an outflow, big wind pushing through. But if we've got the red and the green together like that, it shows some indications of rotation. Right now, this looks to me to be a rather broad rotation going on. It needs to kind of tighten up a little bit if we really get worried about tornadoes. But we're going to watch this one because this warning goes for about another 25 minutes. This is the area that we're watching carefully at this point, just south of Petersham, moving to the northeast now at about 25 miles per hour. But it's a whole big line that goes all the way through here from Leominster and heads down just north of Worcester at this point. So those are the areas just north of Worcester that you really want to keep an eye on. Worcester right through here. You've got a few clouds out there really right now, but not much going on. But as you look into this area here, that's where we're seeing the strongest cells, right around the Barrie area. That's the reason that tornado warning was issued. And then you see this area right through here, oh, that's got so much lightning with it at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of focus in on that area for a second, because that really does include a lot of the area and a lot of populated area as well. So this is the area that we're seeing the tremendous amount of lightning around the Townsend area, lifting its way toward Nashua. Nashua, you're probably hearing some thunder right now, but this extends all the way back towards Brookline, New Hampshire, not Brookline, Mass. Around the Pepperell area, we're seeing a tremendous amount of lightning going on as well. And this line is just going to continue to lift its way up toward the north. So that's why I say Nashua, you need to be concerned about it. But even as you head down towards 495, I would also be concerned about that one as well. But there's the warning. This is the velocity. Again, I'm starting to see a little more of this red taking over, a little less of the green taking over. That makes me feel a little more comfortable with what's going on, but still, we have to watch this cell just to see what's going on. So there it is, that tornado warning. This is a severe thunderstorm warning up here, goes till 5:30. This one goes until 5 o'clock tonight. And of course, this is all part of a big watch area that we've been watching all day today. Severe thunderstorm watch goes until 8 o'clock tonight. Yes, we're still just keeping that one. I was just kind of looking in here very carefully because sometimes what will happen is we'll see perhaps something that's going on in this area and then watch a little bit ahead of it to see if maybe something's going to kind of develop here just south of Gardner at this point over towards Princeton as well. But right now I would say it's in the Petersham area, and this is moving to the northeast now at about 25 miles per hour. So that's a fairly fast-moving one. These were moving a lot slower earlier, which is why we had such tremendous amounts of rain going on. Based on radar, out around the Orange area, we had anywhere between 3 and 4 inches of rain on radar. Roads, we've had a lot of that. Roads have been covered with rocks and mudslides. So there's a lot of water out there, and this one also has a tremendous amount of water with it as well. I keep watching that one in particular because I'm just kind of curious as to what's going to happen out ahead of it, because that's a lot of lightning that's going on just outside of that watch box, or the warning box that we're talking about. So let me just take a look in here. We'll just kind of go into that area. Again, just to kind of see what's happening with it. Again, the watch goes until 8 o'clock tonight. But you see the big picture here. See how this is all kind of lifting this way? We are seeing some stuff around Hartford, but it's not showing the development that this particular line is. And we're actually kind of looking right there. That's the one that has the most power to it right now. That's the reason that tornado warning was issued just a few moments ago. And remember, this is a warning, not a watch. Watch means conditions are favorable for severe weather. A warning means we've actually seen some severe weather taking place. And so that's the line that'll be moving its way to the northeast. There again, you can see that line that we're talking about. But let's focus in a little bit more on what's happening with that particular cell. Right through there, that little red box that you see right through there, that's the warning area that we're looking at. And this is a severe thunderstorm watch box up here, or excuse me, severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued until 5:30. What you can expect with this one is a lot of wind, a lot of downpours going on, a lot of lightning taking place with it as well as it lifts its way up through Nashua at this point. But the warning, which goes until 5 o'clock tonight, another 21 minutes, and we'll keep staying with it until we see exactly what's going to take place. And I want to really kind of focus in on that right now, because remember, we've been watching that velocity. So we're going to just come right down in here. I'm just going to put this box right over the top of it so we can kind of really look inside. And now we're going to switch it over to what we call velocity. This is where we look at the winds inside of it to see what's happening. Let me slide that up so you can see a little bit better what's happening. There it is right through the, oops, excuse me, we didn't want to really do that one. We just want to do this. So we'll slide this up like this. And of course, always these things behave as they want to behave sometimes. But that's the area right now around the Barrie area. And I'm just going to widen out a little bit, kind of put you back at home base so you can see what's happening and see that this is the area that has that rotation with it. This doesn't have rotation with it. These little green boxes, by the way, that you're looking at, those are flood warnings. And that's where we had all of that rain taking place. But let me put it back in reflectivity so you can see that line of thunderstorms right through there. Again, this is the area where we're looking at floods. This is where we're looking at strong thunderstorms. This is where we're looking at perhaps some rotation taking place as well. And we're going to switch over to John and Maria. Give us a little a look around at what's happening with perhaps other stuff that's in the neighborhood, and then we'll get back and kind of check on what was going on with this tornadoes as well.
All right, so first of all, before you go, Mike, and AJ's now on the line, just so you know, and he's helping you out here. So which area right now at this moment should be concerned, and what should they be doing?
Sure, northern Worcester County. That's really where we're looking at it right now.
Give us some towns.
Yeah, I mean Petersham, right out through that area. Barrie, right out in that area.
Leominster, you said?
This is Leominster. I would keep an eye on it because it's close enough by you. But that's the area right through there. And really the reason I want to watch that is because of what we've been seeing inside of this particular cell. And as we look inside of that cell, that's where we've been seeing all kinds of different wind directions and what we call velocity, where we're looking at to see where everything is kind of moving its way on through. So that line will be lifting its way to the northeast, and that's why we're seeing those thunderstorms in that particular box right now. Again, everyone's in a severe thunderstorm watch box if you're west of 495, but this is the area where we're really focusing those strong thunderstorms, the downpours that are out there, and that tornado warning, of course, issued. And it's getting in effect for another 19 minutes or so, kind of through that region. That's where that tornado warning that I was showing you there. Now, this is the velocity I was looking at. Now, this is a little bit different from just a few moments ago. If you remember a few moments ago, it was really tight together here, and that really was kind of indicating that there was severe weather. Guess what's happened? That thing has spread out enough now. The National Weather Service just canceled the tornado warning. Okay. So there's no longer a tornado warning there. This is why it's so important to look inside and see what the winds are doing. When they're tight together like that, then we look for tornado. Now they've kind of spread out a little bit. The National Weather Service just dropped that tornado warning.
So the tornado warning is gone?
Gone. That's gone.
Okay, so don't, whatever it says, there we go. Okay, so.
But the progression of these storms is going to continue to the northeast.
Correct.
A lot of lightning,
take us through
winds.
where it goes next.
Okay, so where it's going to go next is this line is going to slide its way eastward and then kind of slowly drop its way down toward the city as well. I don't think it'll be as strong once it gets on the other side of 495. It's just going to start pulling in some cool air from the ocean. It will lose some of its impact. However, we are going to see lightning and thunder as we head through the evening hours, probably till 10, 11 o'clock tonight. So if you have some evening plans, you're thinking about stepping outside, keep an eye to the sky. As we told you yesterday, you're going to have to do, and that's going to be the general rule of thumb as we head through the evening hours as well. So the only warning we have right now is the severe thunderstorm warning here, parts of Middlesex County into southern New Hampshire, up around the Nashua area. That tornado warning has been allowed to expire just because we saw the rotation kind of breaking down there. But boy, heavy downpours and still a lot of lightning going on with these cells. They push their way off to the northeast now at about 25 miles an hour. And eventually that line will then just kind of slowly work its way towards Boston, but may not get to Boston until closer to sunset as well.
And that's a really good point. Still have to be careful out there with all of the lightning as the storm continues to move to the east.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Mike, you're going to go over and look at some of the computers. So it's not even a tornado watch at this point, correct?
Correct. It is a severe thunderstorm watch. And the tornado warning was allowed to be canceled here just at 441, just because that, as we saw, as you were looking at there in velocity,
right,
and you saw how that rotation just kind of went away. In fact, here, I'll take that. Okay, you can look at the rotation here. I'm going to back it up, say like the last 30 minutes, and I'm going to put it into motion. And if you look carefully at it, you'll see how it's really initially very tight.
Where are we looking, Mike?
Okay, here, I'll show you. Okay, so you're looking at this green area right here, the green and red area. I'm going to walk over so you can point it out to you. And as you look at this, so remember, these are winds inside of the thunderstorm. So we're looking at that. It's called velocity. So if you look at it when it's right down here, see how tight they are? The green and red really tight together. Right. That indicates to us that there's rotation taking place there. But then as we go about 15, 20 minutes in, look how it kind of spreads out. So it's more of a broad rotation. It's not that tight circle that we're looking at. So that's why many times what we see inside of the storm, and remember, we're looking away from the radar. So we're looking up, maybe 5,000 feet into the air, and you start seeing this rotation very tight here. Now, it doesn't mean always that the tornado comes out the bottom, but it's enough that the National Weather Service said, hey, we're going to issue a tornado warning on this one just to give everyone a heads up to it. But you can see how it goes from this tight to this kind of spreading out area. And so now what we've got, gusty winds coming out of it. But torrential downpours, lightning and thunder going on as well. It's going to be an active next couple of hours with these systems moving through.
All right, so you will keep an eye on that, and you just break in whenever you need to, and we're going to continue with the news right now. Mike, thank you very much. Great job.
Thanks, Mike.
We really appreciate it.